Well, another week is down.
Another week is down.
It is
That is
indeed,
for
and it
sure.
was a lot cleaner than the last couple weeks we've been talking about.
Yes, it has been. Hopefully, we've still got a couple people to work on, but it at least the aggressive driving came the latter half of the race, from what I saw, at least in the BRP series. So, yeah, no, it was a handful out there, that's for sure. Really, really slick on old tires, but super tight on new tires. So it's just typical Atlanta racing.
I guess too. This week was the first week in both series we actually moved the stage break to be longer than a fuel run.
Yes, and I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from that too. Everybody was a little skeptical. You know, the day of, prior to the events, and but after that, it just, yeah, I think it worked out pretty well.
Well, because it did force 3 pit stops minimum, because you
Right.
had to take a pit stop going before you got to the break. There's no reason you shouldn't pit at the break, and then you can't make it from the break to the end, so you had to pit at least 3 times realistically to be competitive in this race.
Yeah, and it we'll have to fine tune, and it's going to vary from track to track for sure. But it at least we didn't have a damn fuel mileage race this week.
For what? I was getting a little tired of those in the truck series, so I am totally good with that.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, obviously we want that to be an option if it's available. Obviously, you're not going to have that at Atlanta very often. But we will want that as an option for sure. Just not every single race. So, but on that note, I guess we'll go ahead and introduce our guests and get them talking here because they're pretty quiet right now.
Yep.
But
Hey, I was just letting y'all do your thing.
yeah, we got last week's BRP winner, Robert Hanrada, as well as the owner of BRP, or one of the owners of BRP, Jesse.
Yes, sir.
So
What's
welcome
going on?
aboard. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
So-
been good having you guys on board here for the first, what are we, 6 races in now? No, 5 races in.
5.
Yeah, 5.
Don't scare me like
Yeah.
that. We've got 21 races
Yeah,
left.
guys.
Hey,
thanks for on a serious note. Thanks for having us on. It's
Yeah.
been an honor to be like. We just kind of reached out to Henrada one day when we noticed that he was just running a Boston Red Sox game. Me and him used to do a bunch of Xbox League racing together. So I was like, hey, I kind of have a product. If you want to look into it. And he was like, yes, come on. So this is where we at. It turned from a sponsorship with him to this, and now we're sponsoring other drivers and other leagues and all that kind of stuff. So y'all gave us our first big break, and it's been well received. So thank you.
Took a minute to get the victory lane, but we did it.
Yeah. It that was our first 1-2 finish, I think, ever. If I'm not mistaken.
For
Yeah,
for
right
your
on the
team,
wall.
yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty awesome. If I would have restarted third on that last restart, I would have gave you a run for your money. But because I started on the outside that last restart, I was just going to block the shit for you, because if I wasn't going to win, you were going to. That's
Yeah, the
kind
wheel
of,
spin was really bad up there, but luckily
Yeah.
I didn't have a single outside restart.
Of course, bad timing here on the camera work.
Yeah,
yeah. No, it was fun though. You know, if the second to last restart would have been the final one, it would have been really interesting to see how that would have played out. Because me and you launched very, very well. But yeah, no, that outside. I mean, I don't know if you saw it in the replay or not, or the broadcast, but that outside was treacherous.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was just like real life.
I almost took some people out, and I didn't let up at all. I'm like, whatever happens, happens. If I start spinning out, I'm turning to the right. So I don't
it was
think
just like
so.
it was just like what you see in real life. Like the since probably I'd say about 2011, 2012 Atlanta, the
Mhm.
outside is just, I guess because nobody runs up there, it's just dusty or something.
yeah.
Nobody can ever get traction, so it was kind of cool to see the accuracy that iRacing has with that.
And I feel like there may be a little bit of, not much, but a slight bit of banking in that restart zone on the outside because you're coming off of 4. And I feel like there's a little, and I feel like that's, you know, what where a lot of that wheel spin comes from, you know, because I mean, yeah, you know, the dust and everything, it makes sense. And it might be just a combo of the two, but yeah, no, it was really bad. And it usually is, you know, and I knew it. But nonetheless, it was a very fun race.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah, first race that, like I said, you know, we finished 1-2, that right there.
You see that
Um,
wheel spin right there on the final
yeah.
restart.
And I'm really surprised that I was able to still clear the 41.
Yeah, when I saw just from the booth watching that wheel spin on it, I'm like, oh, you've given up your chance to get low, and I don't know if the 41 either missed a shift, missed the jump, or maybe also had a bit of wheel spin, but there's just enough gap for you to get down in there,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
that sealed the ticket.
And I gotta say this much.
Neither of us really had really top 10 cars. We were hanging there just behind him the whole entire race.
And I've also got to say this much: it was a good thing that it was only a two lap dash to the finish. Because Henrietta, those tires of yours fell off so quick throughout the entire race, but you had great short run speed.
For a good portion of that race, I had right side damage from lap 6 or whatever it was, where I pounded the wall.
Yeah.
And I chose not to repair it. I repaired, I think, half of it. So it's just such a fast track, it was affecting me aerodynamically.
Yeah. That green flag run where, you know, everybody but us pitted, and it ultimately, you know, caution came out and it gave us the lead. You know, I was saving a little bit of fuel still, but I was also, you know, just saving tires. And I was, you know, I mean, you passed me, but I don't remember exactly what had happened, but I feel like whether it was a lap car, you know, coming up through the field or whatever, you know, kind of slowed me up or messed up my line or something. But, I mean, you were definitely fast on a short run, and I knew it. You know, I mean, I called it last week's podcast. You know, if it came down to a late dash to the end, you were going to be the one. You know, and it showed. You know, for sure. But yeah, like I said, you know, I'm just glad that we're starting to knock off them dominators of the season so far. So
Yeah, starting to get up there and make noise, even if you know, I can't remember what positions it were you guys had week prior, but even if it's not, you know, winning the darn thing, you're getting right up behind them for majority of the race or for runs of the race and showing some real speed.
yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, even last week when the little kerfuffle happened between us, you know, we were still in. If it wasn't inside the top 5, it was barely outside of it. You know, so I mean, we had speed then, you know, and obviously it was just a crapshoot to begin with. But
Talking about Phoenix.
yeah, yep.
Yeah, I started, which you know how good I am at qualifying,
Mm-hmm.
but man, I don't know what it was. I qualified 21st out of 22, I believe, and I ended up crawling my way inside the top three at one point, and that was,
Qualified that bad at Phoenix?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Holy crap! I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
he was not his normal self in qualifying at Phoenix. I do remember that.
And I was surprised too, because I didn't think I ran that bad of a lap, but then I saw myself 21st. Like, I didn't wreck or anything.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, wow, 22nd.
It was 22nd.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But, I mean,
I
you were up there. You saw me. I crawled my way up there very quick,
Mhm.
you know.
I mean, yeah,
was-
I started in 16th, you know, and I had worked my way up there before the end of the first stage.
yeah,
You know,
I
I
just really
finished
got
third.
stage point.
Yeah. But no, yeah, we've had speed all season. It just came down to you know, bad racing, bad luck. You know, one way or another, you know, we just haven't been able to finish these things out where we're running. But
And
Atlanta
I
was
think everyone in the field, I think, is starting to notice that I'll stick my nose pretty much anywhere.
yep,
I
that you will.
Yeah,
I remember
that's how he's always been.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Daytona and the BRP series. I just was going nowhere. I was towards the end of the front pack, just kind of riding along. But I wanted to get up there. I saw Tyler Booth in the 19 take it 3 wide, and I tried to help him, but I couldn't grab up to him. So I just hopped back in line. Then he fell out of the pack, and I finally got around. I took it 3 wide. And I crawled all the way up to the second car in line on the outside, up high by myself. And I stayed there the entire run for about 6 to 8 laps. And got myself stage points with no help.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I will say this much. Like I said earlier, me and Henrado, we go pretty far back. I'd say probably around 2014-ish, running for Xbox leagues. His racing style has not changed since then. He's always been a great hot lapper. He's always stuck his nose where it doesn't belong, and then occasionally he finds a way to get it done. But he's always had speed. I will give him credit every time for that.
Patrick, who's that sound like? I've mellowed out quite a bit with age.
Yes,
but...
you have. Yeah, shoot.
me
What was
and
our
Patrick-
first? Probably 2012, 2013, something like that.
Oh God, yeah, it had to have
At
been.
least, yeah, because it was probably inside line.
It was inside line.
Yeah, I think
That
me
was
and
the
Robert
old
started
88.
racing on NASCAR 15, like before Victory Edition came out,
Mm-hmm.
and he was actually owning a league in that on that game, and one of his friends recruited me to come into the league and race with him, and I remember at the time it was always me and him or me and the guy that recruited me fighting for wins. And like whenever he would go for the win, he didn't care. Like if he saw a gap, he was going for it.
Mm-hmm.
And his racing style hasn't changed, but one thing I will always, like I said, always give him credit for, he gives it 100%, and he'll race you as clean as he possibly can.
Yep.
I mean, I know there's times where mistakes are made, but as far as I know, he's always owned up to it pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which we're not to the truck race yet, but I made a mistake in that one. We'll talk a little later on once we get around to truck race in Atlanta. But I feel like when I do make mistakes, I always find a way to mess up the 67.
There's always that one person that you find yourself with whenever you make that mistake, and it always seems like it's on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anybody. That's anybody.
Yeah, it's just once the groups kind of get sorted out for the season, you usually find yourself running around the same group of people all the time because you got the people that run up front, people that are mid-pack, people at the back, more or less, give or take, same group of guys, especially with intermediate tracks. So you just when you do make a mistake, you do end up being around the same group of people, and so inevitably you get taken out by the same guy every week.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, and then in the early portions of the race, you know, you've got the people that are really good qualifiers, but they're not really that fast in the race. So, you know, they're always going backwards. And then you've got, you know, the people like, you know, myself who, you know, I'll be the first one to say it. I suck at qualifying. I don't know what it is, but I've just never been that great at qualifying. And then, you know,
You could have just added me when you said good qualifiers but fall back in the race.
I wouldn't say you always fall back, though.
No, you don't. Not always. I mean, you know, at these higher tire wear places, or when you knock down the wall, hoping that it'll move a couple feet, you know, then yeah, you're going to start going backward. But you know, no, you're fast. You know, I know it. You know, I'm constantly trying to catch up to you. And what I wouldn't give
not trying
but you know, no, like, you know, but what I was saying, you know, is like there's people like myself who obviously suck at qualifying. You know, a top 10 start is like a pole position for me. You know, but I slowly and methodically just work my way up towards the front, you know, and I try and stay out of trouble as much as I can. You know,
I've always noticed, like, since we kind of came on board with Henrata and I've been keeping up with the ASMR stuff, I've always noticed you're really good at saving your tires.
No, not this season.
Well, it's that tire model.
It is. And
yeah.
You know,
okay, I can say that much.
3 episodes now.
Well,
I can say that much.
Yeah.
To be fair, Goodyear heard us last week and brought a new tire this week, so, you know.
Yeah, I still didn't notice that much of a difference, honestly. But, no, you know, I mean, last season I was, you know, everybody knew it. I was phenomenal at saving tire. But, yeah, no, I haven't figured it out. And I don't know, you know, Atlanta here, I pulled out every single trick that I knew on how to save tires. You know, I had my not to give away secrets, but I'm going to go ahead and give away secrets. You know, I was running a 16-to-1 steering ratio. I had, you know, a negative, I'm not going to give an exact number, but I had a negative, a steering lock and a 50 brake bias, you know, and then in race, I adjusted the thing all the way down as much as I could, which is only 3 more points. So ultimately, it was at 47. You know, and I was just trying to take wide arcs going into the corner. I mean, as you see right there, and I wasn't just letting it roll. I was braking slightly, dragging the brake going into the corner. You know, so that way I wasn't using the front tires to shave that speed off. And you know, it showed a little bit, but I think it was the people that, you know, just abuse their tires and don't care. That's the only ones that it really showed for. But you know, like
also
I said,
you've got Atlanta, which is just basically the equivalent of driving on a cheese grater. So,
oh yeah. 100%. And that's why you know, because normally I don't do, you know, a 16-to-1 steering ratio or, you know, anything like that. Normally I just, you know, run a really low brake bias, whatever's comfortable. But I mean, I knew it was Atlanta, and I knew that that's how that track is, you know, so I was just pulling out every single trick and tip that I, you know, knew of, and
That
And
was my first race ever in Xfinity cars at Atlanta, and I couldn't believe the way it handled in practice. I
yeah.
mean, in practice, I only completed like 2 or 3 clean laps out of 20,
Hmm.
and I got no
Wow.
higher than 12th. And then all of a sudden, qualifying came, and I just burned the track down and got third.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it felt like there was a plow, you know, on the front of
Oh
these
yeah,
cars.
oh yeah, it
Um,
was bad.
I, and it's funny that this shot right here shows me behind the 53 there because uh, I thought I was backing my corner up enough, and then watching him, um, I realized I wasn't doing it as much as I should have, and that's why it was tighter than the Virgin Mary. You know, it I running at tracks long enough. It doesn't really matter what kind of car you're in or truck. You've got uh, kind of a base area of what your lift points are going to be. And um, just watching other people's driving styles, you figure out what not to do, and then okay, well maybe I can improve it here a little bit, and that helped a lot. I know that the last run that we did um, before we ran out of, or almost ran out of fuel, I should say, when the caution came out. So that the beginning of that run, it felt a lot better. Like I don't know if the track had rubbered up or if it was just me backing it up a little bit more or what. And it wasn't much. It was feet. It wasn't you know 10 yards out. It was feet that it was the difference, and it just went from really tight on entry to damn near perfect. So um, but that's what I do. I just watch. And if somebody's faster than me, I let them go and I just watch them. As much as I can or as long as I can. Um, because usually by then, especially here, I've already burnt my shit up to where you
Yeah,
know.
that's pretty much how I even became competitive on iRacing. I
Hmm.
started increasing my iRating. Then when I started getting in these higher splits, sometimes even I'd be top split. Basically all I had to do was just kind of ride behind them, not too far, but I would ride behind them. I just see what they're doing, and eventually it started clicking. And I've even won some top split races with some pretty high I ratings in there.
Hmm.
Yep.
So you can
That's even.
really, uh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll make this point after you're done.
yeah, but you can, just from watching what people are doing, man, you can learn a lot. You ain't gotta really ask them what they're doing. If you pay attention enough, you can see exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. Like that's kind of what I was gonna say about one of our new BRP drivers in another league. Um, he was running for a championship in and he couldn't figure out the new tire model. The day it came out is whenever the championship race was. He couldn't figure out the new tire model that quick, and there was a guy that picked up on it like right away. At the end of the race, he just dropped back behind him and um, studied what he was doing, figured out how to get the job done, and ended up winning the championship by doing that. So like you're saying, you don't even have to really ask for advice. You can just kind of sit back, watch what people are doing, and then uh, get it figured out.
Yeah, and it comes down to just having that ability to be aware of your surroundings. And you've always got those people that just they get that tunnel vision, and they're just seeing straight ahead. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you know, and they're just not really attention one way or another, learning, adapting, whatever you want to call it. But then you've got those, you know, like I said, those methodical drivers that just, you know, will sit there and just be patient and watch and, you know, and give positions when needed, you know, and then take, you know, later on um, you know, and that's ultimately, you know, if I know it's going to be impossible, but if we can get everybody to do that, you know, not only is the racing going to be awesome, and you know it's going to be really clean, it's going to be really competitive, but it's going to push everybody to be better because you're going to watch people and you're going to, you know, you're going to find out what they're doing and then they're going to find out what you're doing, and you know, and then okay, well this works here, so I'm going to do it here, you know, but I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing in this portion of the track because it's working for me and I'm faster than him there, you know, blah blah blah. You know, and so you know, if people had that ability, like I said, you know, it would make the racing so much better, but it would also make everybody as individuals better. And I truly believe that, you know, it's the same as, you know, what Hanrada was saying when, you know, you're in official lobbies. You know, sometimes it's a little more difficult for people like myself, and that's why I don't really do official lobbies anymore, because I do suck at qualifying. So I'm always in the hornet's nest, and I'm usually one of the first ones taken out, or, you know, I'm spending more time avoiding wrecks than I am learning, you know, and then come the end of the race, you know, you're just kind of like, well, I got what I got and I'm going for it, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, it seemed the prevailing strategy there after the stage break was either to divide it in half or get as far as you needed to go for the run and then pit to get new tires to try to get an advantage.
Yep.
That was the prevailing strategy in the field, and y'all decided to not follow that.
You know, I'll be honest, I thought my car that run, even towards the end when the tires were really old, I thought my car was handling pretty good. So I was just like, I'm just going to run it empty. And I know the guys at Dixort Pit are going to be on older tires when I get to them, so they're not going to be hard to pass. So I'm just going to run it empty, and when that caution came out, I still had 2.5 laps left.
Yeah, you know, and I knew you were going to bring this up. I didn't have a strategy. I was just running, and I honestly was completely oblivious. And I got very lucky that A, you were in front of me and I was following you, and B, we got that caution as a break because I was not paying attention to my fuel whatsoever. I was completely oblivious to it. You know, and I was just
no
like,
strategy is the best strategy.
yeah, in that case, yeah, it was, you know, and I just, you know, I was watching, you know, you, and I'm just like, well, I'm just going to pit when he pits. And, I had no clue that it was that close until we actually went down pit road. You know, I think I was just kind of like in that zone, you know, it was kind of the boring part of the race, you know, but, you know, I don't even remember hearing my crew chief say, you know, you got about 5 laps left, you know, and, but no, if I would have, you know, had that strategy, I probably still would have, or had a strategy, I probably still would have went with that, just because the trend so far this season to where, you know, odds are you're not going to have a full green flag pit stop or cycle before a caution comes out, you know, and that's just kind of been the trend this season. You know,
also my thought process to why I went so long was it was a clean race, and I started to to just not think I was going to catch that caution. But if we would have had to pit, we still would have had plenty of laps. We would have had like what, 11, 10 laps to go to catch everyone else. That would have been easy.
So, I agree to a certain extent. We were on very old tires at the time. And, you know, those drivers, they had only pitted, I would say, less than 10 laps prior to us, or that caution coming out. You know, and we were obviously going very slow. So, and I feel like even if we would have had to pit under green, we wouldn't have been in the top 5, I don't think. Because, you know, they were flying past us. And, you know, the gain that they got versus the gain that we would have gotten, I don't think it would have, you know, in that short amount of time for us, I don't think it would have, maybe, you know, the last couple laps, but I don't really think that it would have been as beneficial for us as it was for them. But either way, I'm glad that it worked out the way it did. You know, it, but yeah, no, you know, it, like I said, I had no strategy going into that race even. Just kind of, you know, doing my own little thing. You know, I managed, first race of the season, I managed to stay out of trouble, not get any incident point, didn't tear up the car was completely clean. You know, and that was just
I may have won, but I can't say the same. I tore my shit up.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the quick repair is for, as long as it's managed properly, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used it at the stage breaks when I used it. Then from there on out, I kept it clean.
Yeah, you know, and sometimes, you know, that's what it takes. But no, you know, so when that caution did come out, when you know, we were pretty much on fumes there. I take partial responsibility for that caution, because I had 2 lap cars coming up on me very fast, and I believe it was the 48 and the 128, who are very much rivals in this series right now. They do not like each other whatsoever. Yeah, so, you know, obviously, you know, they're coming up, and I'm gaining on him because I wanted that lead. And I got loose right there, 128, got scared, got into the 48, you know, and obviously, you know, it just caused more bad blood between the two. But
well, when I was watching from the booth, and I'm going to switch
that?
to them here, I didn't think the 48 and the 128 made contact until the 48 was already spinning through the grass. But I mean, it could have been, I suppose, net code.
Yeah, I mean, from that one view, it, you know, may have looked like net code, but
Get some air through the grass, though.
he did.
Here, we'll get a top down here.
And I didn't realize how close it was either to the 48 coming up and taking me out when he slid.
He did a great job of not absolutely destroying it to the outside wall there.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, and it may have been net code, but you know, obviously, when you've got bad blood between 2 drivers, it's
Right.
never going to be net code to either one of them. But
No matter how much proof.
yep,
Yeah, I mean, we get right here.
go to the chase view.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's close.
Definitely net code. Yep, it was net code. Either net code or
I honestly
48
think when I was
cutting
just
hard
from
left.
watching it live, I think he was cutting and
Yeah.
just lost it
yeah.
because he gets real close here.
I don't know. The way that front end moves, it does look like he kind of got hit with the net code. But either way, you know, it it ultimately comes down to, oh yeah, that's definitely netcode. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, I take partial responsibility for that, but
I mean, either way, not enough real estate here
yeah.
on the exit of the corner.
And I mean, okay, so I guess, iRacing, you can kind of see that I got a little loose there, but it
Yeah.
wasn't as bad as what it felt. But you can see that I physically got loose because of the loss of time to the 8 that I had there. But yeah, I mean, it just, it's one of those things. You got that hot, greasy, slick tires, and then you're going up into the third lane where nobody's running in. So you got dust, rubber, whatever up there off of the corner when the car comes off of its load and whatever. But I can sit here and make excuses all day, but you know what? I'm not the one that made contact with them, so I don't care anymore. But
Ultimately, racing incident. You're driving your car, saving it. 128. He's doing his job to not run you over. 48 runs out of room. And whether it's net code or just he's cutting it hard left to not make contact, he goes around and incident happens.
Right.
So nobody at fault there, regardless of 128, you 48 anybody being malicious about it.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And I knew it going back and watching the broadcast that was just a racing incident.
Is this bad blood stemming from like another league or?
Nope.
Or
so
it's all ASMR.
Yeah. Since our shootout at Daytona, I believe.
Shoot, I think they had a run-in in one of the recruiting races, and I think it just
Probably.
It's built from there, and it's finally gotten to a point where it's just every week. It's now almost an inevitability.
It probably doesn't help that like something we was talking about earlier. They're probably in that group together every week, like roughly the same speed, always around one another, and it just so happens that they're always and. Probably whenever they get around one another, they race harder because they don't want to finish behind the guy that they can't stand.
Yep,
exactly.
That's exactly what it is. And and it's it is just one of those things, but it is what it is. Like what we were saying, it's kind of brewed from Daytona. Or even the recruitment races. But
sometimes as a spectator, it's fun to watch, but sometimes it does get kind of old. So
yeah, and for the most part, they're pretty good now, but they do have those occasional race-ending run-in. So Mr. Coro,
yes.
This was my first truck race that I did not run in.
Yeah, for once you decided to sit on the sidelines, and now that was not by choice of not wanting to run the race, but other commitments, I think. But,
it was a bit of both. I didn't want to run this race.
As far as not wanting to run Atlanta, I can't say that I don't blame you. Atlanta's not one of my go-to tracks that I circle on the list saying this is a chance to do something cool. Last season, I got lucky and got third out of a fuel mileage race. But I was not a top 5 truck that season. I was barely a top 10 truck, I think, in that particular race. And I finally got the finish I deserved after shooting myself in the foot 4 or 5 times this particular race, I think, too.
Hey, it sounds like Henrado after he...
Yeah.
Yep. No, overall, this race was clean. I don't remember. We might have gone caution free other than the stage break. I can't recall.
I think that's what I heard.
We did have one caution, 2 cautions. It looks like, I guess, but it was. Well, that could actually no. Those are pit stops, right there. So that's the stage break. Yeah, we went caution free. other than the stage break.
Nice.
Well, we had that. That that is how my day started right here. Actually, is got
Beautiful.
at the end of lap 1, somebody's taking turn 4 too high, gets it into the wall, and everybody just goes every which way, and I'm just trying to hang on to that damn thing going through the grass.
Yeah.
So,
But hey, you got a sharp new paint job there.
heck yes, I did. It was originally designed to be a one-off scheme, but I think it's going to make a reappearance just because it looks so damn good on track.
Oh yeah, it does.
But
Should
yeah,
put that on dirt.
it should show up to Eldora,
Yeah.
and then it will end up probably in the fence. But that is beside the point, I suppose. No, that started the race for me. It threw my entire plan out the window right away because it was one of those. I wanted to be a little bit further up, and I got stuck in this backpack. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to push the truck. I'm not going to try to get more than it can give me at this point in time. I'm just going to sit here and ride.
Mm-hmm.
And then proceeded to speed on pit road on that first pit stop.
Yep.
I haven't sped
too.
I sped I think once all last season.
Yeah.
And of course it nails me in the most opportune time.
Mhm.
Inopportune time anyway. So
Yeah, and if you wouldn't have sped, you would have been perfect, sitting great for getting stage points. I do remember that.
yeah, no, I had decided to stretch that one out, and the original plan actually all along was to go down pit road, throw in just enough fuel to get to the stage, go no tires, and make it to the end, and maybe walk away with like 7th or 8th place points. Because it was one of those, I got pushed to the back, so I had to come up with a new plan, and that was kind of the only plan I had to get stage points.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that did not come to fruition. Ended up a lap down, and I never got that lap back.
Yeah.
I remember the end of that stage, I was honestly fighting to stay on one lap down because the leader was coming quick.
Yep. Yeah, that was shortly before I had to dip out.
Yes, I believe so.
Started up front, but it didn't last.
What happened? Did any specific
So,
happen?
yeah. So it was me and a 67, Brad Collins. Don't remember what lap, but we were coming into pit the same lap.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Man, I think we were 1-2 when it happened. The 11, I shot on the backstretch that I was pitting. The 11 was in my ass when I was going to pit. And in my rearview mirror, it looked like he was really close to me. He looked like he had no intentions on going around me, and it looked like he was trying to get under me. I had to block him right there,
Mm-hmm.
and you see, he barely missed me. I thought he was gonna clobber me, and there I go. And yeah, that was that.
Yeah, and I was just playing catch up from there. Did you get a penalty?
I surprisingly didn't, because I'm positive when I got to the line where you have to be at pit road speed, the yellow cone,
Mm-hmm.
I'm positive I was at like 60, but I didn't get a black flag or anything.
Hmm.
But of course, the 67 I punted through the infield got a black flag.
Yeah, unsafe.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, what do you do, right? I mean, it is a very difficult.
It's a hard pit entry. I
really
messed both of my entries up in. Obviously, the first one I sped. Obviously, the stage break was just under caution, which I still messed that one up. I didn't mess up the entry, but I ended up only putting half a tank in by mistake because that was what my setting was to get to the stage break and forgot to change it. So that dictated the rest of my race right there. Is I had to run the end of the race on really old tires.
Right.
But yeah,
Hey, it is what it is sometimes. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, you know, and some tracks, you know, you never really get a handle on, you know, a good pit entry / exit. You know, it just, whether it's, you know, super abrasive, just an awkward angle, or, you know, in ever-changing track conditions. You know, it's just, I feel like Atlanta is just one of those ones where, you know, you may think you're all right, but something somewhere is going to happen. You know, like the incident that happened with you.
Even in that replay, you could see how fast that 11 was coming.
Oh
And
yeah,
with my old tires, I tried to get down to that white line, but I had a real difficult time of doing so.
yeah,
And so when I saw his entry and he was going for that white line, I just had to throw the wheel as hard as I could to the left to get down there. And you could see how close he was to clipping me.
And if I even remember correctly, at this point, this is before I tuned in and was flipping back and forth between this and the SECS championship race. I was watching your in car, and you was like, "I'll talk to him later," because like you can tell that it wasn't anything intentional, but like you was just trying to not get clobbered at the very beginning of the race, and then you ended up running into the back of him. Like there was just not much you could do. There was little to no room for error, and I even remember watching, like, your voice came over the all chat or whatever it is on iRacing. I forget what it is. Or race chat.
yeah,
Yeah, all team. And you was like 8 coming to pit road, and then I see the 11 just diving in, and I was like, "Oh Lord, this is about to get bad." It could have been a whole lot worse, but I just remember Henrata as soon as he made contact with the 67, he was like, "I'm gonna talk to him later."
yeah.
Looking into next week, right before the holiday break, both series are going to Kansas. What are we thinking for Kansas here as far as cleanliness and who's going to be the dominant factor?
So, I'm going to go ahead and say that the cleanliness may not be an issue with drivers as much as it will be an issue with the wall.
Yes.
Whether it's bouncing off the corners or, you know, hitting the safer barrier, going into the corner and riding it all the way through. But the high line is going to be the dominant line. I am 99.99999% sure it's going to be in the BRP series. Just because
recruitment race.
What's that?
Recruitment race. I remember a recruitment race, man.
Yeah.
That setup for BRP series at Kansas is miserable.
Yes, I do remember.
Yeah.
I can also say this much from the races that I've watched so far, like through the last week or so since the new tire model came out. Like at Homestead, usually about that middle line is where you want to be running, and I've noticed people from literally the bottom to the top. It all depends, just on where you're able to handle your car better. So that might actually throw a little bit different strategy into this upcoming week. Something to kind of keep in mind if the new tire model rolls over and keeps up this, new consistency that I'm seeing in multiple other leagues. Because even at Charlotte, I saw people running the middle line and making up ground. So I'm curious as to what that's going to be like in this upcoming week.
Well, I can promise you on Wednesday I'll be the first one to be up there.
You want to bet?
Yeah, I do actually.
Who's going to get to the Larson line first?
It's going to be me. Just saying.
I went into the test section and tried it, and even with the new aerodynamic thing they put in, I still can't do it. I don't know if you've tried it yet or not.
You can't do the Larson line?
No.
I'll find the way.
Do you not see the video they posted on their Instagram?
No, I don't have Instagram.
I'm sure they posted on everything, but the comments on it are so funny. One dude said, "Did y'all bring Kyle Larson for this video?" I'll send it to you after this, but he was like Gregson at Homestead.
Huh. Yeah. Well, I mean, Homestead's its own animal. The high line didn't work as much as I was wanting it to in the championship race last season. It was mainly the middle lane. But Kansas, it aside from the truck series race that we had last season there, almost any car with high horsepower is going to migrate up there one way or another. Whether it's long run, comfortability or short run comfortability. It's you. The risk reward is, it's so rewarding when you don't hit the wall, obviously, but you get that huge run down the straights. So I don't know. I've got a game plan. I am curious to see, and I do need to practice a little bit before Wednesday, but I am curious to see how the new aerodynamics with the wall are. I don't know. The tire model, I guess this current tire model, because I don't see a change or a difference between the tire model from the last 2 weeks. So ultimately it was kind of the same, but basing off of how it was their last season in the trucks, obviously different vehicles, but the tire wear was so tremendous there, and you don't really think, because Kansas was paved fairly recently, you don't really think that that tire wear would be that bad, but I still say it was pretty equivalent to a Dover or an Atlanta, just by lap times, and I think that's why it migrates up towards the wall, or up off of the bottom.
I remember that. Yeah, we would all end up by the wall the further in the row we got.
Yeah.
And there was just no passing. You had to do the passing on fresh tires.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a thing that I think will be different from that ERL race that you were talking about, the Cup cars require so much momentum.
Yeah.
And with the Xfinity cars, you're going to be able to dive in there and try to make moves, because you're actually going to have a little bit more throttle response, which is something that I do think NASCAR needs to work on in real life, and I hope that they do. Because I'm fine with the horsepower they have, but I just want to see a little bit more throttle response to see if they'll not worry about momentum quite as much. But that's a story for a different day. And but that's kind of where the difference lies. Like, whenever you look at the Xfinity, I mean, even the trucks, for the most part, even though they have a similar aero feel to them, just the fact that it's such a momentum thing, you're going to be in line with the people that can hold that momentum. And at a track like Kansas, the momentum is up top. So you have to focus on that a whole lot more. So I think we'll see a little bit more capabilities from the car, not necessarily from an aero standpoint, but from a momentum standpoint. So I think you'll be able to see people down at the bottom a little bit more, at least trying to make moves. That's That's my personal opinion on how the race is going to go. In both races, I think we're going to see a similar race to last year in the Truck Series, coming over to this season. Very similar in terms of what we'll see, like, starting at the bottom, migrating up towards the top, people trying to find the little bit of space that they have to get out of the wake of a driver in front to try to make that move. I think it'll be a little bit different story in the Xfinity Series, in the Xfinity Cars BRP Series. Being able to dive it down to the inside and hold a little bit more throttle on exit compared to what you're able to do in the Cup or the Truck Series.
Yeah, I agree. We'll find out for sure, but I don't know. I feel like short run. I mean, and by short run I mean like 4 laps max. You're going to be down on the bottom, then you're going to start moving because of that progressive banking. That Kansas has. You're just going to slowly move up towards the wall.
I think drivers running up next to the wall in any series that runs there is going to be inevitable.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And like even on the Xbox days, of NASCAR Heat, Inside Line, whatever. For some reason, I talked about it last week. It just suits my driving style up there. So I'm hoping that the car's a little on the snugger side, not the looser side, so that way I can run up there. But we'll see. I don't know what to expect. It's going to be our first night race. We're going to get back to the random track wear. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll be a good race. I feel like it can be. It has the potential to be, for sure. So
it definitely has the potential.
And it is a fun track. No matter how you look at it. Whether you're knocking down your right sides or trying to pull a slide job on somebody and it working, or not, and you got Dale Jr. screaming in the booth, slide job, whatever. Yeah, it's gonna be 2 long nights, that's for sure. I've got the BRP series is gonna have 100 laps there, and the Truck Series is gonna be 84. They're both night races, so. But with that said, Patrick, I will let you go first this week. Who you got picks for?
All right. BRP Series. I think Clark. I'm going to say Clark gets his first win in the BRP Series. Become our first winner across both series if he did that.
Yep.
And for the trucks, I'm going to go with my teammate Smallwood. He's been consistent for most of the season. I mean, got to give him a shout out for finishing 5th at Atlanta. I think he can put together a pretty solid race and come out with a win.
Nice. Robert, who you got for both series this week?
So, both series, I'd like it to be me, but I ain't gonna go that route. Can't do that now. But I'm gonna say, man,
I knew that answer was coming.
BRP series, I'm gonna go with Melton. I think, he's been strong at qualifying. I know he's had some connection issues, but if he can get it straight from the get-go so he doesn't have to drop back and give up all those spots, I think maybe he can do it this week. And for the trucks, I'm gonna go with CD Moore. I think he's been pretty consistent.
Yeah, it's not a bad pick. Kind of an underdog sleeper.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I like the sleeper pick.
What about you, Jesse?
Okay, so if that's the case, I think I'll have to throw in. I think I'll have to throw in Overstreet for this one. If you want me to be real honest, for the BRP series, it's a track that's pretty abrasive. Goes to the high line. You really like those style tracks last season. If you can just put it all together, I really think you have a shot at this. And Rada has a shot. But I guess I'm going to go with my pick of Overstreet here.
Oh, pressure song. Just coming from the sponsor.
Hey, no, like it's just it fits your style very well.
Yeah,
Like
no, it really does.
Atlanta's a very bottom feeder type of track that doesn't exactly fit your style. Phoenix is like a methodical type of track. You're not bad at either one, but that's just not your style.
Yeah.
The high line, saving tires, in my opinion, that's what I've always seen you run really, really well at.
Yeah.
So,
No, and and that's why I've been wanting to get into dirt racing so bad, because, on asphalt I can, not to toot my own horn, but I can rip around the top, so I can just imagine how I'd be on dirt, you know what I mean? So,
and for people listening to this, you should see in the in our BRM chat, he's sending pictures of him up against the wall, literally the right rear quarter panel scraping the wall in the big block modifieds.
Yeah.
So,
They're fun. They're a blast.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that, it fits your style.
Yeah.
And it's hard to bet against that.
Yeah.
So,
well, thanks. I'm first pick all season here. But
Don't
for
mess
the
up.
truck series, though.
Yeah.
For the truck series, though, I'm gonna go with the guy that Henrata keeps on taking out every week.
it's his time to shine.
Let's see, because it always seems like he's got speed, and then something ruins it. Whether it's Henrata trying to stick his nose where it doesn't belong, or
I got a good feeling I know who ruins it.
no. But on a serious note, he always seems to have speed, but then, and like a good solid strategy. Like he's a very thoughtful type of racer, from what I've seen.
Yeah,
And if he can,
if I have something to say about it.
exactly, if you can just stay out of him, then I'm gonna go 2 for 2 in my picks this week.
His name's Brad, by the way.
Brad, okay.
Brad Collins. Yeah.
Brad Collins. Brad Collins, if you listen to this, I'm picking you for the Truck Series win.
Now, that being said, this is before he knows, or before I announce that I am running this week for both series. So, figured I'd go ahead and give that one to someone else. But yeah, this will be one of the, I think, 2 races I'm doing left in the truck series. This one in Eldora. So, unless I need to be a filler or something, this will be the last 2 weeks running in the truck series for me. Just because it is Kansas, and like you said, it is one of my better tracks. So I can't pass up that opportunity, even if it's like the amount of downforce that those trucks have. We'll see how that one goes, but yeah, everybody's going to be going full blown, full throttle all the way around, and you're just gonna see me putting away. So I'll catch back up to him. But so my picks for the BRP series, since Jesse, you picked me, I don't have to pick myself now. That's good.
I mean, you can still pick yourself, but
Yeah. No, I feel like that would be bad luck.
I was
But,
about to say that you can always pick yourself, but a lot of times it doesn't turn around to be the best of luck.
Right. So, oh man. You know what? I haven't picked him yet. And Hanrada, don't let me down. I'm about to pick
Ooh.
you. Yeah.
All right.
Gonna go for the sweep
I can't win
or
it.
the back
One
to
of us.
back.
Yeah, we'll go for the back-to-back.
First two-time
So-
winner. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
You
some
know-
high praise from your team owner.
Well, you never know. I mean, like I said last week, you give this kid a late race start on new tires and the ability to go, and he's gonna go. He's either gonna go or he's gonna wreck. Either way, he's still going.
Well, you know our motto at the shop: you either bring home the checkered flag or you bring home the steering wheel.
That's right. And, so I think our luck's starting to turn around. So
Yep,
Yeah,
and
got
majority
a lot of
of the time,
momentum going into
majority of the time, I walk in there after the race, holding up that steering wheel and saying, "Well, you got next week."
But yeah, no, like I said, we've got a bunch of momentum right now between the both of us because no, I didn't win last week, but it felt like a win. And just because I was able to put a whole race together without any sort of BS. So. So it felt like a win for both of us. Obviously, it was one for him, but
Yeah, it was a weight lifted off our shoulders.
absolutely, and I feel like it's going to be feel like that was the turning point that we needed to kind of shake off that bad luck. So we'll see how it goes. But for the truck series, that is a good question.
Pick yourself.
No, no, because I haven't done anything in the trucks. I had a half-ass shot to win Phoenix, and I took myself out on that one because I had to check up for my teammate. But oh man, I'm gonna go with Clark. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Clark on that one.
Clark is the first repeat winner in the trucks this season.
Yeah,
I could see that. Definitely has the pace.
right. Yeah, he had I don't know exactly what happened, but it ultimately resulted in bad luck somewhere. Because I think he finished, he was the first car a lap down at Atlanta in the trucks. So I don't know if it was pit strategy or whatever the case may be, but yeah. So I think he'll learn from that, and we're kind of going to a similar style as far as tire wear and stuff. So. It's just opposite ends of the track, and I know that he can rip around the top like I can. So, he put on a hell of a fight for me, or with me at Homestead last season. So, I definitely know he can when he wants to. It's just a matter of if he's willing to. That's been like the thing with me is I'm always willing to go to the top, at least to try it out, and then if it works, great. see you bye, But if it doesn't, I like Jesse said, I completely hate the bottom. I at Atlanta, I can't tell you how many times I hit the damn apron and it shot me up the track. So
I tell you what, who doesn't get enough love here is I forget his name, the guy that drives the 88 truck.
The point leader in the truck series.
Dude, I can't remember his name, but man, has he won one yet?
Nicholas Burlow. No, he is leading the points
Yeah.
by 25 points at that. I mean, it's not a small lead without a win, but he has 3 top 5s. Every single race he's been in the top 10. He has been the most consistent driver all season so far.
She's gonna break through soon.
Yeah. Yeah, when he does, there ain't gonna be no catching him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just been minding his own,
Staying out of trouble, staying quiet.
Yeah. But, well, other than that, I think that'll do it this week. We
Yeah.
been on for 2 hours now, looks like. Well, maybe about an hour and a half.
Let's see, what's the tape say? Tape says we're at an hour and 45 minutes.
Holy crap.
So we've been at it.
I swear you said hour 15, 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Time
You
flies.
see why last week was an hour and a half?
Time flies, and then I have to go back and edit them.
Yeah. But,
if you don't mind, I'd like to give a quick shout out to this guy Coro for that zombie BRP hybrid scheme that he whipped up for Henrata for.
Well, we're gonna have to go look at that one now.
mm,
gotta do a little self promotion here.
Hey, no, dude. Hey, even show your truck because that's the one that has your brand on it, correct?
Yeah, that's what I got up on the front of it. I think we had that one up here a little bit earlier. I can switch over to it as well.
yes,
Yeah,
sharp looking trucks, that's for sure.
We
It was on my truck as well. You just can't see it.
we have a couple guys between Coro and James Brosecker who have been working on all of the BRM, BRP, and zombie schemes, and we've had some pretty fire schemes out on track in multiple series and multiple different vehicles, and it's been really fun for us to watch. All the zombie guys love seeing the new stuff, and I mean, even the BRM guys, we're enjoying. Whenever a scheme gets made, those guys are eating it up. So I mean, I had to give a quick shout out and quick thank you for the work that both of you do to keep us up to date and looking fresh on track.
Absolutely, not a problem. It's fun putting it together, especially when you get new ideas that come to light, whether it's an idea that somebody throws out on the table or just something you stumble across while you're throwing something together. So it's a good time sink for me.
You also have another one coming. For me, that's an inverse of the one that's out on track right now.
Yeah, that one's still in the shop getting worked on, but yeah, it's going to be very similar aesthetic to your truck here, but just an inverse of the sponsorship and color scheme.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the finished product of that one. Well, I think I'm gonna stop talking now so that we can kind of wrap this up. Y'all been trying to do that for about the last 20 minutes. So
It's the same with us when it's just us. We'll say we usually say we're getting ready to wrap it up 2 or 3 times, and then we get sidetracked and everything. So
It's that old Midwest goodbye.
Yep. Pretty much.
Hard to take it out, even if you're not living there anymore.
Yeah. Pretty much too.
Yeah,
But
no, there's a lot of content we've cut in the past, so there's content that's floating out there that's not published at this point in time. So we
yeah,
have to
I
do
imagine the same tonight.
yeah, we'll have to go through it. Definitely, I'm gonna have to go over this probably tomorrow at this point to be able to sit through it, cut out what's necessary, trim up what's not needed, and publish it here before Wednesday so we can get our predictions out before the race starts.
yeah. But yeah, other than that, thanks for joining us for an episode. It's been fun.
And thanks for the invite. If y'all ever want to have me on again, just let me know.
Hell yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us.
Sure. See you guys on track.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on here, and thanks for having us as a title sponsor of the Xfinity Series. It's been a lot of fun, and we can't wait to see what more y'all have to offer on
Hell
track.
For sure. Yeah, pretty much hit the rock bottom at this point, so it's all uphill from here. So at least I hope.
Yes, sir.
That is the hope. Yes.
So, but no, man, it's been a blast. Just getting to know you guys and and then just seeing what you guys do and and learning and everything. So it's definitely been a blast. So.
Yes, sir. It's been the same way for us.
Hell yeah. But yeah, so with that being said, like I said, appreciate y'all jumping in as guests, and thanks for listening, everybody, and sure, we'll see y'all again next week. Hopefully, we keep having more positivity, coming up. So.
Yeah, one more race before the holiday break. So,
yeah,
thanks for making this part of your midweek routine right before the race, and I think that's gonna do it for the ASMR Pit Pass.